Hey everyone, welcome back to The Explainer. I'm absolutely stoked you're joining me today because we're tackling a situation literally every single rider faces, no matter how skilled they are. We're looking at ways to find the motivation to ride on those really, really hard days. You know the ones when just looking at your muddy gear feels like an absolute chore and the couch is aggressively calling your name? Today we're going to break down the exact strategies that'll get you out the door and back on the trail.
Let's be real with ourselves for a second. What do you do when the absolute last thing you want to do is ride? I mean, we've all been there. You've had a wildly long day at work, maybe the weather outside looks pretty grim, your legs feel like lead, or honestly, you're just kind of feeling apathetic. It's a heavy feeling, right? Sitting right where you are just feels like the only logical option.
Okay, let's dive into this because here's an ultimate reality check for you. Even professional mountain bikers, people who are literally paid to ride, do not wake up motivated every single day. Motivation isn't some constant state of being. It ebbs and it flows for everyone. The true secret to becoming a happier, stronger rider isn't about conjuring magical motivation out of thin air. It's really about building bulletproof habits that carry you through those inevitable downs.
Section 1. Shift your riding mindset. Winning the inner battle. To start building those habits, before we even touch the bike, we've got to look inward. I want you to slow down for a sec and just get a little nostalgic with me. Remember your very first mountain bike rides? You probably weren't obsessing over your speed, your heart rate, or your fitness metrics. You were out there for the pure thrill of being surrounded by nature, getting away from everyday stress, or just laughing with friends while learning new skills. When the motivation completely fades, connecting back to that initial, pure joy is often all it takes to get you to grab your helmet.
But hey, if the nostalgia trick isn't working, try this number on for size: 20. This is the 20-minute rule, and it's all about lowering the bar. One of the biggest motivation killers is this heavy expectation that every single ride has to be this epic, physically exhausting, multi-hour journey. But what if you just tell yourself, I only have to ride for 20 minutes? That's it, just 20 minutes. Lowering that bar makes getting out the door feel so much more achievable. And the beauty of this, once you're actually out there and your blood is pumping, 20 minutes is almost always enough to make you want to just keep going. And look, if you stop at 20, that's still a massive win.
And this brilliantly illustrates a massive mental trap we all fall into, chasing perfection versus focusing on consistency. We've got this myth of the perfect ride in our heads, flawless technique, endless energy, setting new personal bests. But perfection demands something from you that just isn't sustainable. Consistency is the unglamorous, realistic reality of just showing up. Sometimes your ride is going to feel incredibly slow, awkward, and unusually difficult. And you know what? That is totally fine. Every single time you show up, you're putting in the work.
Section 2. Tactics to keep it fresh. Injecting new adventure. All right, let's shift the energy up. We've tackled the internal mindset stuff, but we need actionable external tactics too. If you're doing the exact same loop on the exact same trail every single day, well, of course you're going to get bored. Boredom is the absolute enemy of motivation. Instead of just grinding out miles, why not spend a session practicing technical skills? Try riding at sunrise or sunset to see the trail in a totally new light. Or just ride a familiar trail in the opposite direction. Visiting a bike park, taking a lesson, or bringing along someone completely new to the sport can really revitalize how you view your local trails.
Another fantastic tactic is jumping into a group ride. Even if you consider yourself a total lone wolf, joining a group can be a massive game changer. The biggest benefit here is accountability. If someone else is standing at the trailhead counting on you, you're going to show up. Plus, group rides offer friendly conversation, unexpected encouragement, and you might just pick up a new technique or two through a little healthy competition. Now, setting goals is great, but big goals can honestly feel pretty paralyzing sometimes. Instead, try focusing on small, achievable wins. Tell yourself you're just going to ride twice this week, or make it a goal to finally clean that one technical rock garden you always end up walking. Maybe it's just practicing your cornering for 15 minutes, or climbing one specific hill without stopping. These micro goals are amazing because they create immediate momentum. Checking these off builds your confidence step by step, ride by ride.
Section 3. Prep your body and bike. Overcoming friction.
Moving into the physical realities of the sport. We just have to accept that some days are going to be hard. There will be days when your legs flat out refuse to cooperate, every climb feels like a literal mountain, and you just feel incredibly slow. So, the crucial point is, struggling on the bike does not mean you're getting worse. It doesn't mean you've lost your edge. It's simply a super normal part of the training process that absolutely everyone experiences. However, you've got to be radically honest with yourself here. Do you need recovery or do you just need a push? I'm giving you full permission to rest right now if you've been training hard. A planned rest day is absolutely critical to prevent injury and burnout. But, and this is a big but, you need to ask yourself if your body actually needs that recovery or if your mind is just making excuses. Knowing the difference between actual physical fatigue and mental resistance is a true superpower.
When that physical fatigue does hit, one of the best ways to fuel your drive is to celebrate your progress. It's so easy to obsess over what you haven't accomplished yet, right? Instead, think about the hills that used to leave you breathless that you now cruise right up. Think about the technical features that used to terrify you that you now roll over with total confidence. Reflecting on things that once felt impossible but now seem completely routine is an incredibly powerful source of fuel to keep you moving forward.
Let's move to and see how this builds into eliminating physical friction. Small obstacles can easily become massive excuses when your motivation is low. By keeping your bike ready to ride at all times, you're doing a huge favor for your future self. Keep those tires inflated, lube that chain, charge your lights, and keep all your gear in one single spot. When you don't have to spend 20 minutes frantically searching for your gloves and pumping up your tires, heading out the door becomes almost effortless.
Section 4. The Post-Ride Payoff. Reaping the Rewards.
Finally, we've made it to the best part. You shifted your mindset, you prepped your gear, and you got out there. I want you to remember this feeling. Think about a time when you absolutely did not want to ride, but you forced yourself to go anyway. By the time you finished, were you ever sorry you went? No way! You're always glad you did it. Exercise releases endorphins, it melts away the day's stress, and it massively improves your mood. Even just that 20-minute short ride we talked about earlier is going to leave you feeling far more energized than when you started.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this idea that motivation often follows action, rather than the other way around. We spend so much time waiting to feel motivated before we actually do anything. But the reality of mountain biking, and really life, is that the toughest part of any ride is simply putting your gear on and clipping into the pedals. It's the starting that's the hardest part. But once you take that action, once those wheels start turning in the dirt, the trail has this magical way of instantly reminding you exactly why you came out in the first place.
So, I'm going to leave you with this final question. What trail are you going to conquer next? Stop waiting for the perfect day, the perfect energy levels, or the perfect wave of motivation. Get your gear ready, lower the bar if you have to, and just go. Your bike is waiting for you. Get out there, have an amazing ride, and I'll catch you on the next Explain.